7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
D4, E5, E3, D6, D takes E5, F6, E takes D6, G6, D takes C7, H6, Queen takes D8 check, King F7, Queen takes C8, Bishop E7, Queen takes B8, Bishop D6, E4, D6, Knight F3, E5, Bishop B5 check, C6, Bishop E2, Knight F6, short castle, Bishop E7, Rook E1, short castle, Knight C3, Bishop E6, D3, D5, D4, E5, E3, D6, D takes E5, D takes E5, Queen takes D8 check, King takes D8, Knight F3, Bishop D7, Knight takes E5, King E7, Knight F3, F6, Bishop D3, D4, D6, C4, E5, Knight C3, E takes D4, Knight D5, D3, D4, C6, E3, D5, F4, Bishop F5, Knight F3, Bishop G6, Bishop D3, E6, Bishop takes G6, H takes G6, short castle, Knight F6, C4, Bishop B4, C takes D5, E4, D6, D4, E5, D5, C6, Bishop G5, F6, h4. F takes g5. H takes g5. Queen takes g5. g3. Queen e7. Queen h5 check. g6. Queen h4. Queen takes h4. Rook takes h4. d4. g6. e3. Bishop g7. f4. Knight f6. Knight f3. Short castle. Bishop d3. King h8. Knight c3. King g8. Bishop d2. Knight c6. Queen e2. d4. Knight f6. e3. e6. f4. Bishop e7. Knight f3. Short castle. Bishop d3. c5. h3. C takes d4. E takes d4. g6. Short castle. d5. Rook e1. Knight c6. e4. d6. e5. D takes e5. Knight f3. e6. Bishop c4. Knight f6. Bishop b5 check. c6. Bishop e2. Bishop d6. d3. e4. Bishop g5. E takes f3. e4. d6. Knight c3. e5. Bishop c4. Knight f6. Queen f3. Bishop e7. d3. Short castle. Bishop g5. Bishop e6. Bishop takes f6. Bishop takes f6. Bishop takes e6. F takes e6. Knight h3. e4. d6. Knight c3. e5. Knight f3. Knight f6. d3. Bishop e7. Bishop g5. Short castle. Knight d5. Knight takes d5. Bishop takes e7. Knight takes e7. Knight g5. h6. Queen h5. Knight ec6. d4. d5. e3. Bishop f5. f4. e6. Bishop d3. Knight f6. Bishop takes f5. E takes f5. Knight f3. g6. Short castle. Bishop d6. h3. Short castle. c4. Queen e7. e4, d6, knight c3, e5, knight f3, knight f6, d3, bishop e7, bishop g5, short castle, knight d5, knight takes d5, bishop takes e7, knight takes e7, knight g5, h6, knight f3, bishop e6, knight h4, knight bc6, d4, d5, e3, knight f6, f4, e6, knight f3, bishop d6, bishop d3, short castle, knight bd7, h3, b6, c4, bishop b7, c takes d5, knight e4, d takes e6, f takes e6, e4, d6, knight c3, e5, knight f3, knight f6, d3, bishop e7, bishop g5, short castle, knight d5, knight takes d5, bishop takes e7, knight takes e7, knight g5, h6, queen h5, h takes g5, bishop e2, knight g6, h4, d4, e5, e3, e takes d4, e takes d4, bishop b4 check, c3, bishop a5, knight f3, queen e7 check, bishop e2, knight f6, short castle, bishop e3, rook e8, knight bd2, knight d5, knight b3, knight takes e3, e4, d6, knight c3, e5, knight f3, knight f6, d3, bishop e7, bishop g5, short castle, knight d5, knight takes d5, bishop takes e7, knight takes e7, d4, h6, d takes e5, d takes e5, queen takes d8, rook takes d8, bishop d3, d4, c5, e3, c takes d4, e takes d4, d5, knight f3, e6, bishop d3, bishop b4 check, c3, bishop e7, king f1, bishop d7, h3, knight c6, d4, e5, e3, f6, d takes e5, g6, e takes f6, knight e7, knight f3, bishop g7, f takes e7, bishop f6, e takes d8 promotes to knight, bishop e7, Knight takes b7. Bishop d8. e4, e5, knight c3, d6, knight f3, knight f6, bishop c4, bishop e7, d3, short castle, bishop g5, bishop e6, h4, h6, bishop b3, bishop takes b3. A takes b3. Knight f3, d6, d3, e5, bishop g5, knight f6, bishop takes f6, queen takes f6, knight c3, bishop e7, knight d5, queen e6, knight takes c7 check, king d7, knight takes e6. d4, e5, e3, f6, d takes e5, g6, e takes f6, d6, f7 check, king takes f7, knight f3, king e7, bishop d3, king d7, short castle, queen f6, rook e1, queen takes f3, c4, queen takes g2 check, e3, d6, knight f3, e5, bishop e2, knight f6, short castle, e4, king h1, e takes f3, g takes f3, bishop e7, rook g1, bishop e6, queen f1, knight c6, queen g2, queen d7, queen takes g7, long castle, queen g2, d4, e6, e3, d5, f4, knight f6, knight f3, e5, bishop d3, e takes f4, e takes f4, bishop b4 check, c3, queen e7 check, queen e2, bishop takes c3 check, b takes c3. b3, d6, bishop b2, e5, e3, queen e7, bishop b5 check, c6, bishop takes c6 check, b takes c6, knight f3, knight f6, knight takes e5, d takes e5, short castle, e4, queen f3, e takes f3, g takes f3, bishop e6, king h1, knight bd7, d4, a5, e3, rook a6, f4. Rook f6. Knight f3. a4. Bishop d3. e6. Short castle. Rook takes f4. E takes f4. Queen e7. Knight c3. Knight h6. Rook e1. g6. Bishop e3. Queen d8. Queen d2. d5. d4. e6. e3. Knight f6. f4. Bishop e7. Knight f3. Short castle. Bishop d3. King h8. Short castle. Rook g8. h3. Queen f8. c3. g5. Knight bd2. G takes f4. E takes f4. Queen g7. Queen e2. Knight h5. Rook f2. Knight c3. d6. d4. e5. e3. E takes d4. h3. D takes c3. Bishop c4. Knight f6. Queen d5. Bishop e6. Queen d3. Bishop takes c4. Queen takes c4. d4. e5. e3. E takes d4. E takes d4. d5. Knight f3. Knight c6. Bishop d3. Knight takes d4. Short castle. Knight takes f3 check. Queen takes f3. Bishop c5. Knight c3. Knight f6. Bishop e3. King f8. Bishop takes c5 check. King e8. Bishop d4. Bishop e6. Bishop takes f6. Rook f8. d4. d6. Knight f3. e5. c4. E takes d4. Queen takes d4. Knight f6. Queen e3 check. Bishop e7. Queen d2. Short castle. Knight c3. Bishop e6. e4. d5. Bishop d3. D takes e4. Knight takes e4. d4. c6. e3. d5. f4. e6. Knight f3. Queen d6. Bishop d3. Bishop e7. Short castle. Bishop d8. c4. Bishop c7. C takes d5. Queen d8. D takes e6. F takes e6. Knight c3. d4. e6. e3. d6. f4. f6. Knight f3. c6. f5. Queen b6. F takes e6. Queen a5 check. c3. b6. Bishop d3. Queen takes c3 check. Knight takes c3. b5. Short castle. e4. d6. e5. d takes e5. Bishop b5 check. c6. Bishop e2. e6. d3. Knight f6. f4. Bishop d6. F takes e5. Bishop takes e5. Knight f3. Bishop d6. Knight c3. Bishop e7. Knight e4. Bishop d7. Knight takes f6 check. d4. d5. e3. Knight f6. f4. c6. Knight f3. Knight bd7. Bishop d3. h6. Short castle. h5. c4. e6. c takes d5. e takes d5. Knight c3. h4. Bishop d2. h3. Queen e2. Knight b6.